This is Passion for Your Passions.
It's Christmas!
With Krista.
And Julie!
Happy Christmas, Harry. Happy Christmas, Ron.
Oh, copper bells, sweet silver bells.
Oh, everybody look at the tree! Oh, I love this tree.
It's the day after Halloween, Lynn. Don't you think we might have gotten the tree a little early?
Oh, put some mistletoe on my butt and kiss it, Bobby.
Okay.
Hi, everyone! It's Christmas Eve. If you're listening to this when we release it, yeah.
If not, then I guess this is
They
pretty
wasted
weird.
on you.
This is weird for you. Then why are you listening to a Christmas episode? It's July.
What are you doing with your life?
It's July, Stephen.
Need to find a Steven now. We just wanted to do a really quick, fun, particularly random episode to round out the year, and because we noticed that Christmas Eve's on a Friday, and we're like, we should do something.
Yeah. Although now technically we kind of screwed up.
We lied. No, we didn't screw up. We lied. There's a difference. We totally lied. One, it is not the Great British Bake Off episode like we said.
So sorry about that.
Sorry, not sorry. Christmas couldn't be avoided.
Yeah. It can never be avoided,
No.
to be honest. Every, about December 7th, I think I have, a small panic attack. Because I'm like, oh,
That was yesterday.
I need to buy things. And I need to stop.
Oh God, what's happening? Yeah. No, what's funny for me is I do all of my shopping starts in August because I get custom gifts ordered and I have to wait. And so I do all this big stuff in August and then mentally I'm just kind of I'm done. And then I get to December and go, no, I'm not. I only did it for 5 people.
I need to wrap.
I need to do things. And then
Yeah.
I make cookies. So that's also part of it.
Yeah, I think you're a lot better prepared for Christmas than I am. I don't know. It doesn't occur to me. I mean, maybe it will a little bit more now that I have younger people in my life, brothers and
Children.
cousins and nieces and things. But yeah, I'm typically not good at this. I get into the Christmas spirit 2 weeks before.
I just started watching Christmas movies, so.
Which, speaking of this, since we're doing, this Christmas Festivus fun thing,
Yuletide. Gay.
what is your favorite holiday movie, Julie?
I think I have a handful that I watch every year, but I've got 2 in particular.
I'm going to tell you just before you start talking about this, I am genuinely curious about what the answer to this is, because I have no clue.
Really?
I have no clue what you like to watch for Christmas.
So I'll start with the more obscure one. It's called Holiday Inn, which I made you watch.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yes, that's one of my favorites because you can watch it during Thanksgiving / right after because it's about all the holidays, including the racist ones, because it's old. So they're painted in blackface at some point. It's that old, people. So watch with caution.
Yeah.
But I love this movie because, one, like I said, it's kind of all the holidays, so you can watch it in between that weird point in time when people are trying to put up Christmas decorations, but still Thanksgiving and whatnot. And then also, it technically inspired the movie White Christmas because the song White Christmas is on this, and it was written as a little bit piece for this movie. And they were like, hey, everyone loves that song. Let's do a really random plot around it and then make another movie called White Christmas.
Yeah.
So I watch that one every year. I think I have 10 I watch every year, but the perfect movie that also happens to be a Christmas movie is The Grinch with Jim Carrey. So that is literally a perfect movie. I will fight people on that. And so that being a perfect movie as well as a Christmas movie, I gotta watch that.
A lot of people would fight you on that.
That is the perfect movie. There's nothing wrong with that movie in any way. Everything.
A lot of people very heartily disagree.
Well, they can suck it because they're wrong. It's You look at the art style, you look at the design, the music, the plot has heart to it, even though it's like a typical story that everyone knows. Jim Carrey does excellent. There's no bad acting at any point, including the dog. Like, the dog does side glances and everything. Like, it's hilarious. And then the humor is spread for all ages. Like, kids find it funny, adults find it funny, old people find it funny, like, all of it. It's just the perfect movie.
You know, this is really random, but I know a really random fact about this movie, which is the scene where, like, the Grinch is, like, he, like, pulls a cloth, like, and he's trying to, like, pull all the stuff off the table. He wasn't meant to do it, like, where he pulled it, like, the magic trick, and so then all the stuff was there. So then that was why afterwards he, like, knocked it over. So,
see,
I don't know,
Jim Carrey, golden moments. Like, let's just...
Well, I actually think it's kind of funny because one of my favorites is White Christmas.
There you go.
I do watch White Christmas a lot. Beyond that, if I'm going to recommend it, I would say White Christmas probably is the safer option. I wouldn't say there's anything, like, bad about that one.
There's some, what is it? Mr. Bones. They do, like, a bunch of jokes in that Muse play that are kind of okay.
I don't remember them being like...
Mr. Bones. And then they go, how do you avoid the bill for the dog on Monday? That's easy. Kill the dog on Sunday. Like, they're just not tasteful jokes.
Yeah. I mean, most jokes aren't, but yeah.
But these are also just not funny. So you're like,
that's the other thing, too. They're not funny. Yeah. It's weird. That movie is strange because there's parts of that movie where I'm like, I don't know why this is in.
None of it's relevant because, like I said, they're just like, White Christmas is a hit. Let's make a movie. And then they just came up with a plot. Yeah. And most of the songs are not Christmas related.
Yeah, and a lot of that plot is very whack.
Oh, yeah.
Because that plot is, like, basically like, hey, there's, like, this general guy, and we want to do a nice thing for him because we were in the military, and we like him and all this stuff. And so then they're like, so we're gonna put on a play to, like, get people here to see him.
And the play is not a Christmas play until the last song.
Yeah, it's odd.
Rosemary Clooney, who's George Clooney's mother, I want to say, is amazing. Like, doesn't even seem human half the time.
I think she's his aunt, actually.
Is he? Okay.
I think
maybe.
So. But, yeah. No, I think the cast is really good. It is, like, probably a little bit of a long movie, but that's probably the one that I want to watch. I mean, I like the Jim Carrey Grinch. I was just giving you shit because I know a lot of people really don't like it.
You're just wrong.
I don't know if there's really any other ones that are really I will say,
I watch Elf.
I will say, my husband had me watch Jingle All the Way. Have you watched Jingle All the Way?
Isn't that with Arnold?
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't know if I can recommend this movie to anybody. It is so bizarrely wild because it's just like this guy trying to get this toy for his kid, but, like, I forget, because I've only watched this movie one time. I'm sure I'm gonna get roasted. I forget the name of what it is, but, like, everybody is so horny for this toy. Like, real bad. Like, just everywhere. Everybody will talk about it all the time. Like, they have, like, a parade for this toy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is what it was like when we were kids with Pokemon. That's the only thing I can, like, compare it to, because other than that,
there were a whole bunch of them, because, like, what was it? The Tickle Me Elmo was one.
Yeah, but this one, it's like, they're like TV shows, and he ends up wearing the suit by the end of it, and he's like flying around, and I'm like, this is all like too much. Like, I understand kids are kids, and you do this is too much.
Well, controversial topic then. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Does that make Iron Man 3 a Christmas movie?
Did it come out around Christmas?
It, like, takes place in Christmas, basically.
Well, Die Hard came out around Christmas, like, in theaters, as well as has, like, slight Christmas aspects to it.
Well, I think Iron Man might have been the same. Also, another one. Here's one. A lot of people will say, like, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are, like, holiday-y. I don't know if I agree with this.
People say with Harry Potter, I think it's because it's always on TV. So then when people are, like, lounging in their parents' living room who don't have streaming services for some reason, or their grandparents, like, they can find Harry Potter. And also they have Christmas, like, happen, at least in the first one. And they kind of piece it later. I don't think Lord of the Rings is at all. Their argument is, you know, there's elves in it. Like, fuck you. Like, that's not the same in any regard. I don't think Lord of the Rings counts at all. I can understand Harry Potter, though. I don't think of it as a Christmas type of movie.
Yeah.
I watch it more around Halloween, I think, because witches and wizards and
I
the candles and the...
I get the urge to watch Lord of the Rings in the fall.
I watched it at the beginning of the year because of Tolkien's birthday and stuff.
I mean, that could just be me, but I just do. I get that it's just like it feels natural. Like it's the
What you
fall.
do. Right.
Watch this.
So are there any Christmas movies you hate? This will be like our last segment.
Don't think I'm a big fan of like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer animation thing. It's just kind of weird. Like
The faces with Rudolph's like, ah! Like he just turns his head up so weird because we look like they're felt.
yeah, claymation is a weird one sometimes. But yeah, that's probably like the only one I can really think of. I mean, like most of the time I'm like, it's a Christmas movie, whatever. I try like to not really judge them that harshly. I mean, I've watched like some of the ones that are on Lifetime before. Oh my gosh, I was watching this one with my mom. And I swear, some of these ones that are on Lifetime, I'm just, like, for one thing, they'll be on green screens and stuff. It's like, you couldn't even find just, like, a place with snow to film this. Like, it'll be them on their porch, and, like, everything is green screen beyond them. And, like, the one that I was watching was about poinsettias. And it was like this poinsettia farm, and it's like the typical Lifetime movie thing where it's like person from the big city comes back to save their poinsettia farm, falls in love with some random, I don't know, best friend type or whatever. And it just was like, I just don't.
So tired.
I can't do this.
Well, my most hated Christmas movie is a hot take. So
I don't know what that is.
People are going to be very upset with me because
Are
I
they?
detest this movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the movie was called A Hot Take.
No.
I'm sorry.
This is a
Okay.
hot take. Like,
Okay. Let's
Sorry.
hear your hot take.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, I haven't watched every Christmas movie. I'm sure there's ones I would hate more, just like the Lifetime, where it's like, why was this even made? Like, I'm not arguing that there are worse movies. This is just a movie that so many people love that I can't flip and stand at all. And that's A Christmas Story.
Mm. Yeah.
I think that is the dumbest freaking movie. Well, to be fair, I don't like a lot of Christmas movies because I didn't watch them when I was a kid, when you're supposed to. So I don't have any nostalgia for this movie. So I just watched it. I watched it as an adult. I think I was 19. And it is the worst movie I've ever seen. I hated every second of it. It's so annoying and so stupid, and not a single moment is funny. Like, it's just... And so many people love this movie to death.
It's a bit too old for us, I think, too. Like, that's the other... Like, because it's like the 80s or the 70s or something when that came out. Like, so I don't think we would have any nostalgia for it.
Well, so many people our age, like, do, though. It's a thing. It came out in 83.
Yeah,
So it would be a generation above us, like, still millennials, but on the top tier millennial, and...
top tier millennial.
I mean, I don't know how to put it. The eldest of millennials, like... But, because we're bottom tier.
Yeah.
But I know so many people that we went to school with that, like, they would dress up for Halloween with these, like, Christmas Story costumes, and there's ornaments, and it's this huge, stupid thing. Like, and someone I dated was obsessed with the movie. That's why they made me watch it. And I was just like, that's so dumb, and I hate it.
No, that's not one that I'm a big fan of either. Like, and it's kind of weird for me. That's kind of how I feel about Christmas movies. I just have, like, a lot that I'm not really a big fan of. It's not really, like I care. It's just like, eh. Because there's that one, like, I feel like the other one for me is Elf. Which I know, like, some people feel whatever about Elf. It's just, for some reason, Elf doesn't really work for me. So that's kind of one, like, I don't...
That's one of the few I like, so...
I mean, I get it. I think, like, the first time I watched it, I was fine with it. But Will Ferrell's kind of a weird one for me. It's like, I like him sometimes, but then other times he kind of annoys me. So it's like, I don't know. I think I can watch Elf sporadically, but it's not one that,
Every
like, I
third
feel...
Christmas.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to watch it every single year.
And I never feel like watching A Christmas Carol of any version. Like...
We talk about it so much.
I know. But I know it too well that I'm like, it's never new. Like, it's just the same shit. And then Family Man with Nick Cage is just Christmas Story with Nick Cage. Like, I'm so tired of it. My life being surrounded by this. Well, I said this is the last thing on movies.
No, it's okay.
So, okay, movies we've covered since we're both media freaks, as we've come to find with our podcast series. So I'd say the next part that's really important to me is probably food, honestly, when it comes to the holidays of any sort.
Food is a big one. I do love to eat everything all the time.
All the time, every time, every day. So that, like, are there things you need to have around this holiday? Like, you just crave them and then never want to see them the rest of the year, or they're never available? Like, what are some of your...
I do really like gingerbread, but I like the actual bread. I'm not as big a fan of the cookies, really, but I do like gingerbread bread. And I think the other one is Buckeyes, which is a weird one. I don't even really know. It's one of those things. Yeah, give me a grumpy face. Even people on here, I don't even know how much people know about Buckeyes, but it's like, it's a weird Reese cup.
Weird, yeah, ugly Reese cup.
But sometimes I like them. Like, it's also like peanut butter fudge. Like, I think peanut butter fudge is like kind of another one where it's like, yeah, I don't like think about it the rest of the year, but around this time of year, you give me a piece of peanut butter fudge, I might just eat a whole bunch of peanut butter fudge.
Now I'm gonna go home and make peanut butter fudge. I have too many things I have to cycle every year through. It's just, I love food. And I make so much food. Well, what's even funnier / sadder about this year, for me, personally, is that my mom is, like, throwing a tantrum. I don't want to call it a tantrum because I'm on her side, she's justified. But, like, my dad won't build her a kitchen. And it's been, like, 15 years, and she still has a kitchen that's worse than mine. And so she's just decided to not cook anymore. Like, she's just like, all right, fuck all of you. I'm not cooking then. And so I'm not getting a Christmas dinner this year. And I'm, like, really upset. I'm going to make my own and then just sit in my house alone with all that food. Like, I need everything exactly, and then just have a plate and then just leave it and go to bed.
I suppose you could invite your mom.
No. She doesn't deserve it, or she's not going to help.
That's kind of sad. It does also kind of remind me about, I don't know if this was last year or the year before, where you were like saying you weren't going to buy a Christmas tree.
My dad lost his mind.
Yeah, your mom got super upset.
And it was not my mom. My mom didn't care. It was my dad. My dad wouldn't leave me alone. He, like, called me every time he went to Home Depot. Hey, Julie, there's, like, a really nice tree here. I can buy it for you. No, I don't want a tree, Dad. It's like $100. I'll buy it. It's really nice. No, I don't want a tree. Stop.
I just love how, like, I'll get you one. No,
I don't want it.
I don't want the tree.
Well, I have to find a place to put the goddamn thing, and I have to decorate it and keep it alive. Like,
and worry about cats.
It's a lot.
Kiki living in the tree.
Yeah, and no one is gonna come see it. So, like, what's the point? There's no reason.
You could just get a very small tree, and Kiki could karate chop it over.
Fluff already destroyed the one small tree I had the year I got him. So, pass.
Well, what are your favorite foods then? You didn't mention anything.
Sad.
You're just sad.
That's my food.
That's
right
not
now.
the point of
Like,
this.
Sad. Well, I love the cherry cordial like candy. I will make myself sick on them bitches for whatever reason. I have no control with those. Yeah. I make a ton of stuff that I associate with Christmas. I hate sugar cookies and hate Buckeyes. People ask me to make them, I'm like, you go to hell. Like, you make them yourself, goddammit. Like, I will not make those. Peanut brittle. I don't know. Chex Mix. Ooh, Chex Mix. Yeah, like holiday Chex Mix. These are the things I cycle, though. Like, I do not have the capacity to make them every year because they're grueling and horrible, so I do this, like, weird 5-year cycle.
I don't know. So that is actually kind of a thing, and I think we've touched on this before, that, like, I don't know. I think this was just kind of a weird difference between our families because, so for me growing up, my mom and, I mean, it's not everybody in my family, but, like, particularly my mom is not a very big cook. Like, she cooks and stuff, but, like, it's not really, like, a big deal to her. So, like, I think the biggest thing that she would make when I was younger was apple pie. And so I do really like her apple pie, and I have a nostalgia for that. She would also make deviled eggs, which, weirdly, I have a nostalgia for. Which I just feel like is the weirdest thing to be nostalgic about.
No, it's pretty common in our area.
But it's just, apple pie makes sense, but it's like, oh yeah, deviled eggs.
I will crush some deviled eggs.
I know. I saw, oh my gosh, I don't even know if it was you who posted this or if I saw somebody else post it. They were like, oh, you want to eat 6 hard-boiled eggs?
Like,
And
no.
it's like, no. But if they're deviled eggs...
Well, yeah, it's like, what if I put a bunch of mayonnaise and split them in half and decorate them? Hell yeah!
I'll crush 6 eggs.
I'll crush 6 eggs. Yeah, like, that's completely accurate. But when you think about it, that's 12 deviled eggs. That's tough. That's a little rough there.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be eating that many
No.
eggs.
I put butter in my deviled egg mix, actually.
That's kind of weird.
Makes it creamier. Well, not like a tub of butter. It's like a tablespoon of butter to make it like creamier.
You take like a melon baller.
Start throwing butter on the eggs. Like, that'd be a really good prank. Like, here's a deviled egg and it's just butter.
I don't think it would be a prank. You'd have to do a good job with that.
You think I couldn't?
Well, try to prank one of your brothers.
I was gonna say, now I'm gonna prank you. I'm gonna keep giving you good deviled eggs, and then one day, just throw a butter in there. A butter egg? A butter egg. You got butter egg. New Christmas tradition, you got the butter egg.
I just want to see if, like, now, so many years later, if you could still prank one of your brothers this way.
Yeah.
Just go back.
Just, hey bro.
This is Russian
Do you want
roulette
some
deviled eggs. They'll be like, what does that mean?
I'll be like, oh, one has hot sauce in it. And then they'll be excited to play, and then get butter eggs. And then I'll also put hot sauce on because why not?
It'll be very weird Russian roulette. I don't even know if, like, if you got a butter egg, if you would be upset about it.
I mean, wouldn't you? Because, like, you're expecting flavor, and you literally just have texture in your mouth at that point. Because you've got a boiled egg and unsalted butter.
I mean, I think it wouldn't be great.
No, but I mean, you'd either expect just regular deviled egg, like delicious, or hot sauce, like extreme, and then you just get beige. It'd be startling to a degree. I think they'd get confused. I think they'd be like, are my taste buds dying? Like, what's happening? I don't think people assume it's butter.
I think, gosh, it would be like that one time I went to, like, Wendy's or something, and I ordered water, and they gave me Sprite instead. So I took a drink of it, and, like, and, you know, because they look similar, and then just about spit it all over my car. Because it was so scary.
Yeah. When you're not expecting things, I think that's what'll happen. They'll just think, like, their taste buds have gone dead suddenly. Be like, what is happening? New Christmas tradition, butter egg.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get somebody on a butter egg.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to try really hard to, like, make it look right, though. That's gonna be, I think, your problem. Because if not, like, it'll just be...
You just use, like, the piping tip, because I make them fancy anyway. So use the piping tip, and then I would get, like, red mica powder instead of paprika.
Why wouldn't you just use paprika?
Because that gives it flavor, and I want it to be beige. I want it to have literally just texture and nothing.
Okay.
No salt, no nothing.
Okay. Well, unless you have another favorite food or you just want to keep talking about butter eggs for 5
Butter
minutes,
eggs.
let's talk about something that I think that we can have a good conversation about.
Are you saying that butter egg is not a good conversation?
It's a different
I
conversation.
think it's great.
Music. Because I don't know if we have ever talked about this on here, but we have a shared thing with music, and particularly Christmas. Because for a long time, Julie and I were in
A competition choir?
professional choir? I don't know.
I call it a competition choir.
Yeah.
Because we were class AA high competition choir.
Yeah. And earlier, I guess, than this time of year, we would start singing the Christmas tunes.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
All of the Christmas
Did you ever actually go caroling? Did you do that?
I did one time.
I think we both did as freshmen. We're like, never again.
I don't feel like they did it after that.
Maybe not.
Which was weird. I don't even know if it was freshman year. I think it might have been middle school. which was odd.
I
I don't
remember
know how we got roped into that.
I remember the seniors being there. That's why I know, like, we were young.
Yeah. I just,
So.
for some reason, I remember it not being in high school, but I could be wrong about that. All I know is it was an odd thing.
It was a miserable, cold day. That's what I remember. Cold night, whatever. That's what I remember. And then we just got a packet of, like, 50 Christmas songs. Like, hey, figure it out.
Go Carol.
Wah!
No, I mean, for the most part, we would learn, like, a bunch of random songs, really. I mean, most of the main ones. We'd have a concert at a certain point, or we would go around and tour all the different schools and sing a bunch of Christmas songs. I feel like we didn't do that every year, but we did do that, for
we
sure.
did that every year.
For sure.
Yeah, we didn't do it our freshman year because we weren't in the
Oh, yeah, because
high class choir that year.
Right.
They didn't allow freshmen.
Yeah, it was kind of weird at our school. Like, it's strange. Like, we went to a very small school, as we've talked about many times, the People of the Corn School.
But this choir was, like, top of the country, like a crazy, ridiculous choir, and it was the only pride and pinnacle of the school.
Yeah, I mean, because other than that, like, there were plenty of people who cared about sports, you know, football, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But then we had this choir. There was also, like, a pretty big theater scene. It was very strange. Our school was really bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there anymore. I try to not.
Yeah, I don't.
I try to not go and
I
look.
just avoid it, yeah. Like, pass. Because the director we had, I think, was the main reason why our choir was so prolific, was because he was an arrogant, attention-needy man and, like, needed to feel like he was still important in the world, even though he's just a high school teacher. So I think that was the main reason why it ever happened. Which, I mean, to his credit, like, he's an excellent musician and thus, like, created this choir that was just, like I said, top of the country, not just, like, the state. We crushed at state, and then we would occasionally, because we were a poor school, we couldn't really do a lot of national competitions, but, like, we did well at national when we went. So to his credit, like, he successfully did it, but now that he's not even there, it's really died down.
Has it?
Yeah, from my
Okay.
understanding. Not necessarily a bad way, it's just not taken nearly as seriously as it was when we were there.
It's interesting. Yeah, I try to avoid altogether.
I think I'm following, like, their general message board on Facebook, so I see the occasional thing.
Well, with that being said, what is your favorite music when it comes to Christmas?
I just listen to Trans-Siberian Orchestra for the most part. But I mostly just have stories and weird things that I think of. Because one, we sang Carol the Bells every year. But I still really like that song because it's just like a slapper. So fair, like that one's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want Luke to be here because he loves to tell this story. But we sang a song in our choir called Ring-a-Ding, I think it was called. And you're supposed to imitate bells. Like, that's the point, is, like, all the different parts in the choir are imitating a bell. So you don't actually have words. You're saying, like, ding, ring-a-ding. Like, you're saying these weird little percussion-type noises. And for fun, we got to be in mixed voicing. Yes, that's what choir people do for fun. We got to sit in mixed voicing, which means Luke and I sat right next to each other. And we decided to, like, not look at the director. We just stared each other down, and we're out singing each other. And we took down the entire fucking choir because we just started speeding up. Because we're, like, competing and yelling at each other, basically, to hold our place. And the, like, director just stopped and let us, like, go off on a tangent. And, yeah, Luke and I are basically like, we just took down the whole choir. You guys suck. Like,
I'm not sure if I remember.
We just kept going.
I don't know if I remember this.
I don't think you were there that day, because, I mean, I explicitly, either that or because we were in the same section, you weren't allowed to sit next to me or something like that. But I know you weren't in our little pocket of, like, staring down.
Yeah, we were often prevented from being near each other.
Yeah, he separated us a lot. I don't know if it was intentional or not.
It was kind of strange because we were both altos, which I always thought was interesting.
He always put me on the weird parts. I think that's why. Because, yeah, technically we were a 4-part choir, but we'd easily break into 8. And then we do more complicated pieces where it's like, okay, you 3 do this, you 2 do that, da 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 da. So anytime they broke into those you three do this, he'd always make me do the hardest parts because I'm loud. And I would just sit there with my ears like, shut up, shut up, shut up. I have to focus. So I always got put weird places, but he always seemed to put me with people I just disliked. I don't know. He also hated me. This is the guy, I don't think any adult has hated a child more than this man hated me. So, like, maybe it was just punishing me. Who knows?
I don't know if it was that extreme.
No,
but
I'm exaggerating. But, like...
He didn't like you, which that was... And then it was also weird because then he did like me, which I thought was always strange.
I think people thought I was, like, holding you back or hindering you, so that happened a lot, where they'd start liking you a lot and be like, Julie's the worst, she's tainting, like, Krista's purity or something. I'm like, dude.
No, that's just Krista.
She just is timid, and around me, she's not. Like, that's the only difference. Didn't we sing Christmas Shoes at one point? I think I hate that song.
We might have. I don't know. I don't really like a lot of Christmas songs, and part of that is because I used to work at Walmart. And that will that will kill it for sure. Because basically when I worked there, and also too, it was during a very horrible time period, because it was like during a time period where both Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift had come out with Christmas songs, and they were bad. They were really bad. And at the Walmart I worked at, it was like they had a CD of, I don't know, it was not a lot of songs, and they would just play on repeat, and that killed Christmas music for me for like a long time.
Well, now I have a funny story. Yeah, I worked at Amazon for a while, and they decided to play Christmas music for like 2 weeks. Like, they didn't play it the whole time because you got to pick a radio station. But for some reason, on this day that I worked like 12 hours, I think I heard the song Feliz Navidad every 30 fucking minutes. Like, it played so many times. And I never had feelings about that song. Like, it was okay, I guess. Now I just couldn't. I was like, I'm literally going to die from this song. Like, it's just... And I had to go to Walmart after work because I was like, I need wrapping paper to wrap the gifts that I bought. I'm working third shift. So I'm in Walmart at like 6 o'clock in the morning in the Christmas aisle. You know, no one's in the store. And the song Feliz Navidad comes on. And I literally just scream on the top of my lungs in the middle of the... I was like, ah! Like, I just started screaming. And someone who worked there came up like, are you okay? And I'm like, it's just the holidays, man. Like, I'm just so tired.
I mean, I think everybody knows this about retail, that like, yeah, retail kills a lot of things.
Yeah.
The people who work in retail and are able to work in retail are just saviors of a kind.
You hold this country together. Like, it's...
I worked at Walmart.
I worked at GameStop. I
know.
suffered
Yeah,
so greatly.
They tried to fire me 3 times, and it was unjustified. Every time.
That's just America.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe you should fire me from this Walmart. I don't know.
Bet you won't.
No, eventually I just quit because it turns out working for Walmart sucks.
Who would have thought?
At the time, I didn't have a lot of options.
I get offered jobs everywhere I go, so I've never felt that way, I guess. Pretty much anytime you and I go somewhere together, I get offered a job, so it's just weird.
Well, especially like at that time, I needed a job, but like I really needed a job that was part-time. And that was what was hard about it. Was like there were jobs, but they always like wanted you to work basically like 40 hours. And it's like, well, I can't do that. I gotta like go to school and stuff. Yeah. I need to focus on that. I can't be here all the time.
So I like how you're like, oh, music, we'll have lots to talk about here. And then we've gone on like 3 tangents that are unrelated.
Well, we did talk about choir.
A little smidgen, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
so anyway, last section, I'd say, unless... I don't know, do you have any weird traditions? I was going to skip that one. Do you have any weird traditions?
I don't know if I have any weird traditions. Well, okay, I guess I have 2 things that I could talk about, like, briefly. When I was a kid, I had a relative who, for whatever reason, one of the things they would do was they would make, like, a treasure hunt. And that was, like, a really big deal. Because it'd be, like, all these, like, because it was, like, there'd be clues. And so then you'd have to, like, solve the clues to be like, where's the next treasure? You know, that kind of a thing. And I remember that being fun when I was pretty little.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But that was only for like a couple years. And then the other one, although this isn't Christmas, is when I was a kid for like a long time, we had this Thanksgiving tradition where on Black Friday we would go see a movie. And we did that for like ever.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yes, that was actually the first time I went to go see Pride and Prejudice was for that. So like it's kind of one of those traditions that's kind of like died now, but yeah, for a long time. It was just kind of a weird thing. It was like, it's Black Friday, we could go see a movie. We just did that. I think I even saw Titanic. That was like another one that like I saw during that time. So
not bad. Yeah, we didn't really do. I remember the reason why I relate to Malcolm in the Middle some more. So we always got in trouble around Christmas. Like always. We were always being punished. Like it's for some reason or another. I remember that. And then the only other thing I really remember is like my dad was more of an ass than usual every Christmas morning. So like I, growing up, was the only one allowed in my parents' bedroom. I don't know why my parents came up with that rule, but they did. My brothers explicitly were not allowed to like go in my parents' room, knock on the door, anything. But I was allowed to free reign, do whatever. Again, don't know why, just how it was. I think it's because I was so little and they were much older. So it's kind of like, if you need mom, like you can go in the room. I don't know. But anyway, so like Christmas morning, starting at a very young age, I realized how much I loved to sleep. And even on Christmas morning, as a young child who believed in Santa, I would not get up. Like I would still just be passed out dead. And my brothers were the opposite. My brothers would come into my room and wake me up. So, you know, a 16-year-old is like, come on, Julie, it's Christmas, get up. And I'm 7, like, go away. Like, I'm trying to sleep. But they weren't allowed in my parents' room. So I had to be the one to get up to go get my parents up for Christmas. And I essentially be like, give me another hour. Like, I'm just sleeping. And then so I'd eventually get up and then get excited and go wake up my parents. And then my dad would take a shower, even though he never took morning showers. And like, I wonder what I should like, what clothes I should wear. Shut up, Dad, go downstairs. Like, we weren't allowed to go anywhere near the living room until then. And Mom would just go to the kitchen, start making food. Like, and Dad would just, I need to find the camera and get all the, like, why didn't you do this the night before? Like, every single year. He just made us suffer. Yeah.
I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've seen this one, but there's like a Bob's Burgers episode where like that's like a big deal. They'll like Linda and Bob will like hide eggs for Easter.
Yeah.
And they can't like have their candy, the kids can't have their candy basket until
they
then.
hide all
and
the
they
eggs.
just
Yeah.
like hate it.
Exactly. Like, why are you like this?
Yeah.
That's the other reason why I'm like, why am I gonna get up just so that Dad could be a jerk?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay in bed. Like,
I'll let him be a jerk while
yeah,
I'm
like
in
don't
bed.
give in. Like he revels in our suffering. Like, don't give in. Just go back to bed.
That's good. It's a good tradition.
Yes.
Suffering.
That's pretty hand in hand with everything in my family. So, okay, last section, which is probably my favorite section. Best gift ever given and or received. Do you have any of those that you just stick in your brain?
I think probably the best one that I've ever received was my husband, and this was when
He was gifted to you? That's like worded.
Yeah, no.
Dropped at your doorstep as a babe to be betrothed. That's how it sounded.
No, my husband, I think really early into when we were dating, basically bought me, well, not basically, he bought me all the Inuyashas. So I have like a literal full set of Inuyashas. And that's very expensive. I don't know if anybody knows a lot about like mangas and stuff. Yeah, it's like probably $500 or more.
He's fitting to get in there.
But yeah, that was a pretty good gift.
I'm notoriously just a gift giver by trade. This is going to sound like I'm a terrible person. I almost rarely remember when stuff's been given to me. Like, I don't think about it. And what'll happen is I'll talk to mom, like, hey, do you want this? She's like, your dad gave that to you for Christmas. Oh. Well. Like, it doesn't stick with me as much because I'm more excited to give people stuff than I am to receive. I'm kind of like, cool, moving on, get your gift. Like, open it now. Like, I don't care. care about this right now. But I'd say I really liked the bombshell you got me, the statue. I just like how that happened because it was just a very funny. It sticks in my brain. So I have this Christmas wish list that I create and give out to people. And I'm very methodical because I don't know how else to be. Everyone else gives me these flibber-gibbet fucking wish lists that are like, oh, socks from 2 years ago. I'm talking to you, Krista. You've got weird shit on your list from like 3 years ago, like a shower scrubber. Like, people just don't pay as much attention to their wish list as I do. I am very clean and methodical with mine. And so on the top are the stuff that I want the most because I assume people have short attention span and will stop there. So I put at the top. And this one year I put on the top this like bombshell statue that I was really wanting. And I basically already decided I was going to buy it if nobody bought it for me. And I had like 3 different Christmases to go to. And so I thought that my boyfriend's family bought it for me. And so I was just like really excited about it. Because Amazon will, if you try to buy something, it'll tell you like, oh, this has already been bought. Don't buy that. Mm. And I did that because I was like, I don't think anyone's going to get this for me. I'm going to buy it. I went, oh, it's already bought. Oh, I'm sure like his mom got it. That's so great. I'm so excited. And so I was really excited going to their Christmas and opened all the gifts. Was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't get my bombshell. Like, Amazon fucked up. Like, I was like really upset. I'm like, why? Like, who would have bought? I already got all my gifts. Like, I was like really upset about it. I just couldn't stop thinking. I'm like, where's that goddamn bombshell? I really want it. Like, I'm so upset. And then I get to Krista's and I see the shape of the gift. I'm like, it was you. Like, you bought the bombshell. Like, because I think we were still poor at the time, so we weren't really spending that kind of money on each other. I think we usually only spent like $50. And that was $150, and I just was like, what'd you do? Like, you did it. This is it. Like, it was just one of those things.
That one was pretty good.
Yeah. So I think you were like, I knew you really, really wanted it. I'm like, I did. I was just shocked.
Yeah, I think like you had talked to me about it or something, and then I saw it on your list, and I don't remember, because like,
I went to a comic book shop, and I looked for it.
Yeah.
That's what happened, I think.
But I feel like I kind of like, I don't know, I like to get like little gifts and then bigger gifts. And so like, I don't know, that was just kind of one where I was like, oh, that's a bigger gift. And I knew you would like it. And it was late and all that kind of stuff. And apparently it worked out. So
yeah, it was just funny. I'm like, what happened? Where is it?
Yeah, as for like gifts I've given, that one's kind of a harder one. I don't know if like I can really think of any that are like just really out there.
I have like a favorite one every year, but like I think it wasn't last year, it was 2019. It's my top one now. It's the winner from 2019 is the top one, but it's really corny and stuff.
You don't want to tell me your corny one?
No, I think I've told you, so I'll tell the viewers. So backstory is I have a longtime family friend who's old enough to be my grandmother, but I'm good friends with her. It was her and her husband we were close with, and I used to drop off cookies and do all this stuff for him. And her husband's health was declining rapidly, so he went from being like outside every day working to basically stuck in a chair. And so he was watching a lot of TV, which they never did. They're the kind of people that didn't even have a TV other than when they had their grandkids over type of thing. So it was just a shitty, heavy TV. And he was trying to watch like VHSs on it of these competitions he used to do. And so they had me come over to help tech-wise. And I looked at everything and I just basically decided like, they need a new setup. This is not, if it's one thing if you never used it, but now you're literally spending like your entire day in front of a TV. So that I like on Black Friday, I picked out this smart TV. I got all these cards to get all the subscriptions to all the streaming services. I got a converter for all of his VHSs, and I got like all these old Westerns and all these cheaper DVDs I knew he'd like. And they called me back over to do like help with their computer. And I just show up with all this shit. And they didn't even understand. They were like so surprised. They were just like, are we borrowing this? Are you like, what's happening? I'm like, no, this is your Christmas gift, which I normally don't even get them Christmas gifts. So they're like, we can't take this. I'm like, it's too late. I'm setting it up and you won't know how to take it down. Like, I just started setting it up. And her husband like was fussing over everything. He's like, can I help you? I'm like, just sit down. Like, you're just going to be in the way. Like, just go sit down. I will set it all up. And I got her addicted to all these like TV shows that are streaming. I like linked her all up, and it was just like a really nice moment, you know, that changed their lives. And so,
Well, at least they appreciated it.
yeah. So it was just really great to do that.
I guess it would be one thing if you just brought in a TV and they were like, no.
We don't need that kind of devil witchery in here. No.
I had this heavy TV so I could feel the weight of my sins.
Yeah, like, that's what I need. Like, I don't need color. Like, it's just... So, that's my, like, that felt great.
So, I think probably for this last part, do we want to just talk about, like, the end of the year? I know we maybe want to be a little bit mysterious about what's going to happen with next season, but do we just want to talk about, like, how the end of this year is going to go for this podcast?
So we're going to take a break. As you've noticed, or may not have noticed, depends on how, like, on top of it you are. We kind of started doing 3-week breaks for these holidays to kind of give us some space. Because we don't want it to be a chore. It's going to be, pieces of it are going to be no matter what. But it was turning into, like, with the holidays, with our work, everything, we're just like, oh my god, like, if I have to listen to this stupid podcast to edit, I'm gonna lose my mind. And so we kind of started doing, like, a 3-week break in between, and we plan on doing that to start the new year. So you're not gonna get a new episode until, like, halfway through January. I would apologize, but no. So that's just how it is. So I think we progressed a lot. Like, I think we have our own little niches. We definitely could still fix some things and clean up and learn to say like a little less, but we're getting there.
Next year is onward with progress and changes and
Changes
things.
on the way, people. Revamp, sort of, maybe, kind of.
Changes and things that we're not talking about.
No, because then we're committed.
Yeah.
And no one wants that here.
So this will be it for the year.
Yep.
So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Yuletide, Happy,
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan,
shortest day of the year, Happy
Winter
everything.
Solstice. This was Passion for Your Passions with Julie
And Krista, where we talked about Christmas and Yuletide.
on the next episode. It's the dawn of a new year. It's the start of a new day. The unknown is out there.
We are going to burn this podcast to the ground, and from its ashes will arise.
Phoenix will arise. That'll be the new series.
And 2021 will die in a flame, and then it will be 2022, and things probably won't be different.
They'll probably be mostly the same. It's fine. A little shitty, slightly better, unless you look really closely, and then you're like, nope, still pretty awful.
Yep, that still sucks.
Oh, yep, avoiding that. Moving on. A lot of people have told me they liked Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, which to me, I'm like, well, that just makes sense because we're deeply obsessed with those things. like the other ones are a little more casual. That's like, this has been our life for years.
I don't know why people like Yu-Gi-Oh so much, but
I think it's just random.
a lot of people watch Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of people watch Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but a lot of people watch I guess it's our horn. It's not really just me.
It's mostly you, though.
But it was my episode.
That was your episode. No one gives a shit about Julie episodes, so it's fine.
I don't think that's true.
It's fine. It doesn't hurt.
Maybe people like the sheep one. I don't know.
Out of all of them, I feel like that's my weakest. So, thanks. The year is over! It's finally over!
On the next episode?
It'll be a new year, dawn of a new day.
We don't know. We don't know what's happening.
We do know. We're mysterious.
Spoiler alert, we don't.
We're mysterious.